Welcome to the Legion's Lair. I'm Dave Lewton, or also known as the Pin Guy in the Cabal.
And I am Brad Jones, brother of Bjorngard. Woo! All right, folks. Tonight, we have a special guest. If you've noticed, Mike is not here. Mike is working. But we know what we're doing, so we're going to go on without him, which is fine. But yes, we have David Lewton with us tonight, the Pin Guy. Those don't know David, you may have seen him walking around the con with a backpack stacked. Oh my gosh! Wow. So is that the liner that goes inside the backpack?
Yeah, it's actually you could change out the sheets, which makes it really nice depending on which event you're going to.
Nice. I like it. Well, we'll get more into that, and we want to definitely talk more about pins and what you got. But since Mike's not here, I guess I will control everything. Yes!
Dance, puppets, dance.
Dang! So what we will do is, I guess we'll talk about news. And we do have a little bit of news. I will pop this up here. Obviously, that is my dog, Ozzy. He's a nutcase. You may hear him from time to time. The in-stock sale. Go to sourcehorseman.com. You will see this lovely colorful information. You can click on shop in stock items now, and boom, there you are. Oh, looks like the blind boxes are sold out. I did not know that. I know they were talking about it getting close, but looks like ATL 25 and the Headhunter is still there. I think there was, I swear they said something else was low. Ganesha. Yeah, Ganesha was low. So sorry, folks, the mystery boxes are gone.
That's a good deal. That's a real good deal.
That was actually a very good deal. I mean, when you think about it, at Legion's Con, they were what, $45?
45, yeah. And then if you wanted the barbarian parts, it was an extra 10.
Yeah. So that would have cost you $55. I mean, so technically $100 would have got you two figures and one barbarian part.
So you got a bonus night there in the blind box.
So you pretty much got a bonus. Exactly, got a bonus night in there. And hey, there's our good friend right here, Michael. You son of a bitch. Yes. So obviously there's still a lot of stuff. I'm debating if I want to grab another ATL and Headhunter. Because I do like
I didn't know if I was going to squad build the ATLs, and then I watched Predator in true Brad fashion, and had to pick up a few.
Core. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want those camo pants and extra whatnot, I mean, that's where you're gonna have to get this figure. But it's cool that the Headhunter, and I know a lot of people probably know this, but he glows in the dark. He freaking glows in the dark. I didn't know that actually buying it. I just have I got a blacklight flashlight, and I always put it on everything now, and he was glowing nicely. So definitely liking the Headhunter. So if he's getting low, that should tell you something, people. Should tell you something. So what is up, my dude? Elemental Crafting. What is up, everyone? Thank you for joining us. So I did grab a couple figures. I think there's some other news though, right? Let's see. I think they did the obviously Source Horseman, the Tale of the Crossroads. David, what did you think of these figures?
I was actually had to do a work trip, so I got to listen to the Jeremy's podcast, and yeah, it was pretty nifty. Some of those parts that we haven't had before, repainted in the Alithia Thrace color. I mean, that's just for pop and swaps. But getting that, black banded female torso, the Urxa head with the skull, kind of like the undead shaman priestess, I thought was really cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. I definitely am going to get multiples of those to make all 4 characters, and probably a few extra to make some, pop and swaps with those additional heads. That's where they always get me, is they throw an extra Gorgo head or an extra good female sculpt, and then I got to get a body for it. Yeah,
Definitely. I'm trying to find it here.
Just the color palette too. Jeremy was saying how it's almost like the color was sucked out, kind of like a emotionless, black and white noir dark worlds kind of vibe. And that's just like, to me, it's like Spider-Man noir, right? Like you're just immediately in black and white. You see these characters and they offer you a choice, and you're like, well, I'm in it now. I don't even see color. So, it makes you just, they look like great hand candy. And each one of them is a home run. I didn't know if they could top the Furious 4 in terms of, making 4 desirable characters, but this one, bravo.
No doubt. Greg McTavish says it's my favorite pen pal. That's awesome. So yes, I feel like this is kind of cool because they're giving you a little bit, a little bit of everything. Not everything, but I mean a little bit what we've been wanting. Do you think? I think they were trying to talk about this a little bit on Legion's Lounge last night, but do you think that them showing us a couple of these 2.0 female figures, that may be something to do with the new armory experience? Matching up maybe something that goes with the Saturday and Sunday exclusives, possibly. I'm just speculating. I mean, we know nothing.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome, especially if you put get like a zombie head painted in that color. You pop and swap that on there, or any number of parts. That would be pretty nifty. I know a lot of people were hoping Baythier's Fury was going to be a female figure, right? So I think if you put any female parts within the armory, those are going to be the first to go. People just like building their sexy females to round out their troops.
No doubt. And actually, Greg baby, was on last night. I watched it. I always miss it because I'm always doing stuff at that time. I don't know what it is. I'm always doing something. So I literally watched, like, as it ended, I started watching it. I did comment a couple times and actually forgot that it wasn't live. I always do that. It's hilarious. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't live. And but
you're watching it like for the shout out. Like, where is it?
I know. I'm like, how come no one's shouting me out, bro? It's like, oh shit, it's not live. Yeah, new to Mythics. Check out our good friend Greg there. But yeah, he was on Legion's Lounge last night. It's a good episode. I know Trevor didn't want to go into too speculations, and I know what did Bill say? Bill said something about loving 2.0 figures, and I know Mike hates them. I know Mike is on the show, and Mike will straight up dog the 2.0 figures. And I try to have their back. But But it's funny because I'm over there like going to bat for him, and then like right before the show, I like look down and like it's like I looked at the Poxus figures, and they were just like, "Look, Brad's looking at us," and they just. I don't. I almost felt like I had some special power there for a minute because I just looked at them and they were like, "Ew," and they just all fell down. And obviously Torian, Torian with his stupid hoofs, and he knocked over
Oh
the
yeah,
freaking blue elves, and
got a Estier in here. He's got a NECA stand, just to keep him upright.
I every now and then I do like the NECA stands. My go-to has been the Funko Pop stands,
Really?
which
Okay.
they're like the same peg, but the clear plastic is like super little. It's like the size of like a 50-cent piece. It's real small.
Okay.
And I kind of like that. It's because it's you can't see it as well. It works really great with all my figures, NECA figures and whatnot. But those little clear Funko stands are being more and harder. They were at my Walmart for like $1 a piece for like 10.
Oh,
It's funny. Jonathan Hughes goes, I don't know if you've ever seen the Funko. When you get them, there's 10, but like one of them is just a clear plastic piece. There's no peg, and I don't know why. So it's kind of like a throwaway, So I posted one time that I liked those, and Jonathan Hughes goes, "What the hell is that clear piece for?" And I'm like, let's Google it. And I Googled it, and Google said, "Oh, it's for it's something like if you could tack it, put a piece of tack on the
oh,
front," and I'm like, or glue it or whatever, and I guess that's what it's for. I guess so. There is a purpose for that little clear Funko piece without a peg in it.
I thought that it was
I
just
always
like,
felt like I got ripped off. But
yeah, right. You're like, everyone throws away the end piece of the bread, right? You're getting the.
dude, I've thrown away like probably dozens of them because I'm like, I got no peg. God damn it! Like, what is this shit? Funko's ripping me off. But yes. Oh yes, no doubt. Yeah, 2.0 has come a long way. They need better feet and use stands. I do agree, Greg. I do agree.
I think some of the advent of decay, getting those in the Kickstarter. I went heavy on the gold elves in the 2.0 body, right? Because I loved I think it was like the Whisperling ears, and it had like the full helm. And I got like a 6-pack of those because I was like, love my Lord of the Rings elves. Like, this will be great, And then each one I'm like putting up, and like the legs are just, it, a millimeter shorter than the other, or it just wouldn't fit right. And I'm like, I'm cursing that, the 2.0 feet. And so I definitely see see the complaints from Casper. I feel like they have gotten better though. They've definitely improved, made sure at least the legs are equal.
I do feel like they're better, but I feel like they could make them a little tighter. I know what you're saying. Those Advent of K's. I'm really looking forward to what is it, the Gorthok? Yeah, Gorthok, the Shadow Orc, because I still have the original Gorthok from the Shadows of Covenant, wave, and that wave, he's very Pinocchio-like. Very Pinocchio-like, and I never fixed him with anything because I was weird about that at that time. So he's still propped up a certain way where you can't, move him too much, or he's gonna either do a Jean-Claude Van Damme split, or he's just going frontward or backward. So I'm looking forward to that new tight one. My Silverhorn Sentry was like that. So when we got the new Silverhorn, it was nice to replace him with new stuff. Definitely. I was going to show something. It was so funny before the show. Lauren goes, "Oh, I posted something on Instagram," and I was like, "Oh, I have pictures of me and David selfies." She goes, "Well, I have one. He has one." And I'm like, "No, I have selfies with this dude." And I swear I searched in my phone, searched, and I'm like, dude, get the hell out of here. I know I've taken pictures of this dude like numerous times. Come on
Uh,
now. And eventually, I think I got to, let's see, let me pull it up here. I found one. Oh, shit. So let's see. So I found me and you, and this is back in 22 at Legion's Con,
yeah, yeah.
I think.
Wow. You're right. Yeah, that was
And so that
22.
was my first. That was at the hotel with the messed up elevator.
Yes, I believe I was carrying that box to drop it off in Christopher Olsen's room because I was in an overflow hotel, so
Oh.
I don't wait for the elevator to go up with him.
Oh my God, it was horrible. So I found that picture, and then I guess I must have taken this a few seconds later. So that was like the only two pictures I had in my phone, unless I was scrolling too far and I just misplaced them. But I did end up finding one right before we went we went live. So yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, that was well, I guess I should bring us back in.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was one of my favorite. Yeah, that was my first Legion's Con, and the best was I remember Legion's Lair had the table pretty much right next to the Four Horsemen
it was.
Studios line,
It
like
was.
perpendicular.
It was.
Um, and I remember because I had, of course, I wanted the pins, and I didn't know how many there would be, and Jeremy's like only 50, and I didn't know what the appetite for pins were
I
in the
remember
community.
that.
So I was, since I was in an overflow hotel, when I got in, I just went straight to the Quinta and, stood in line as like the sixth person at 6 p.m. the night before, like some psycho. And it was actually wonderful because I got to meet so many people,
Yeah.
and some of the real hard hitter original gangsters of the community, Peter Tong, Brett Ragnar.
I was about to say
Um,
Brett was like second in line, or he was real
yeah,
close. He was really close.
No Sleep Sebastian Leduc was number one, and I think he
Yep.
always gets the gold medal there.
Yep. He was there. I think Ish may have had some people there, some co-op people.
Yeah,
I don't know if Ish was standing outside, but he had his people standing.
it was Ish came in the morning with some breakfast and some
That's
food
how he
for
gets you.
everyone.
That's how he gets you.
But what was great is I had like flown in and I didn't get much sleep because I'm a serial late packer for most trips. So I was up late doing laundry and getting everything ready. And so by the time I got into Jersey, I was pretty tired. And by like 10 o'clock, everyone's like, "Oh, we're not going to be able to sleep. This is going to be terrible." I was passed out next to a hotel pillar, just snoring away. So they were all pretty impressed. Um, but that was pretty neat. And then by the time we got in the morning, I remember you pulled out cash, like you were waving me down at the corner, and you're like, "Hey, hey, if they have a shadow quadron,
Okay.
I got money."
So it's so funny that we didn't talk about this, and you brought up that because I said I want to talk about this. I want to make sure I bring this up because you're right. For some reason, the Legion's Lair was like it was Immortal Collections, the Legion's Lair, and we're literally right next to the Horseman booth. Like they're
Yeah,
coming
you
in, and we
couldn't,
were like right there. I don't know how that happened. I don't.
and you couldn't
I think they
pass
just
two
threw us in
people.
the corner and then was like, "Wait a minute, we have to put the tables over here," and then we were already there. Because people are coming like, "Who are you, Legions? What? I'm trying to get to the Horseman table." So yeah, I saw you, and obviously vendors. I want to say that year they didn't have anything for vendors, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think
they didn't allow the vendors to go to buy products.
yeah.
It wasn't until I think the next year I think they had allotted time for the vendors to go up to get, which is great because if you're a vendor and to know that you're sitting there while everyone else is buying all the shit that you kind of want to because you are a fan as well, it sucks. But to know that, hey, I can sit here and work my table all day knowing that I have every opportunity to go get that exclusive Minion figure or whatever, Valiant Night or whatnot. That was cool. I liked that. So definitely digging that.
Yeah, that was I mean, I was just
But
reminiscing about that with someone.
it was actually an Equidron, and I needed it. So I ran up to David and I said, Dave, are you going to buy an Equidron figure? And he goes, no. And I go, here is $65. Buy it for me. I'll be at the table over here. And he did. He bought it for me. He brought it over, and I had this head that I had Eric Miller paint for me. So it's this cool, and I did posts about it. But this body fits perfectly with his paint job. Like I know it doesn't do it any justice, but like the graying in his face is literally like almost matching of the gray on the Equidron body. I want to say this was a Noble Bear custom print, and then Eric Miller painted it. So he did a great job. So I already knew what I wanted. So it wasn't like I was taking that to sell. I needed that.
Well, and that was, I mean, those were the days of you didn't know what was on the table until you got there, and then it was like surprise case.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we found this in the truck, or this was in the warehouse, but we're gonna wait 3 hours before we put it out.
And if I remember, there wasn't a lot of the Equidrons. If I remember correctly. And you were first in line. I remember thinking you have game to one easy. I know you do. So it was funny because I think I walked up to Van or somebody in front, and they're like, dude, we got, and I'm thinking, you know what, you're right. You guys got a U-Haul truck. I'm not even gonna bother you guys. And I'm like, wait a minute, a Neotech member from Ohio. Yes, baby.
Yeah,
definitely.
Anytime we can, well, what's weird is, we can just sense it because, you yell out OH, and then, the instinct to yell IO is back, and it's like the weird Marco Polo attraction of Buckeyes.
It's hard to believe that it seems like a lifetime. The La Quinta. It seems like a lifetime. It really does. But it's not that long ago. It wasn't like too long ago, but it was a few Legions Con ago. I mean, this November will be 3 years officially.
Yeah.
Full 3 years.
Yeah. And I will say the benefits, there was just no airflow in that room either. And
Ryan K. Anthony, I know we talked about you last episode. Thank you again. That was always. It was funny because like the people that work there are like, I don't know. It's just hot as hell in here. We open the doors, And Ryan just walks over to one of those like air conditioning units and just cracks it open. It just turns it down. And immediately you felt cold air blowing, So the next day it was better. Sunday was cold. It was actually cool in there Sunday, but Saturday it was still pretty musty. Actually, I take that back. Sunday, it was still pretty hot over by Jesse's table because I think Jesse did get pretty hot.
It was pockets. It was like someone had, Mr. Freeze had like walked by you, and you're like, oh, that was nice.
I remember the elevator was messed up, and I tell the story where you have to walk where my room was placed. Then I'd have to walk all the way down this hallway, kind of zigzag a little bit when you get down there, then walk up some steps, and then walk all the way because my room was literally right next to the elevator. So it was like taking the elevator would have been very convenient for me, but it wasn't. I literally had to walk all the way down, and then come down and then walk all the way back, So, and it's funny walking through those hallways were hot.
Yeah. Oh, it was like. If you weren't hydrating, that was the biggest thing. Like I remember there was people passing out bottles of water, which was very nice. They had like the small cups too. And I think one brave ball soul just brought a case of water and said, hey, it's free. Like, just take water so you don't pass out. Because it was like, you were almost dehydrated in a Vegas casino. Like the floors just started looking the same. Every corner you turn, it's the same, or or like there's bright lights, and you just didn't know.
So it's didn't I say La Quinta? It's La Quinta. La
Oh,
Quinta. I don't think I said La Quinta. La Quinta? La Quinta. But I do like La Quinta. You like how I say that? La Quinta.
I think La Quinta is it La Quinta? Yeah, La Quinta. La Quinta,
No, La
yes.
Quinta. I mean, I think La Quinta sounds better. I'm gonna say it.
It's-
I mean, look, La Quinta. I said it doesn't sound good. It doesn't. It's like you say euro, I say gyro, you say gyro.
do you have a word, Brad, that like when you hear it, it's just like an ice pick to the ear, like the alternate pronunciation?
Yes. Now you did see what show was that? I know it was Luke Bryant where he did that skit.
Oh,
It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
yeah.
Look,
There's a couple like still like
it sounds
aluminium
good.
for aluminum. That gets me, or advertisements. The
Yeah, there's a few. Okay, let's see. Well, I know I'm missing something. I tried to write everything down so Mike wouldn't yell at me. Oh my God, Lauren's back here making fun of me. What people say, Cadillac converter instead of catalytic converter. That's
catalytic, yeah, Cadillac,
yeah.
catalytic.
Well, me and Lauren worked at Summit. They got me saying it. I just say it because like Lauren's like, why are you saying Cadillac converter? I'm like, that's what they say. I'm trying to,
I have to speak the native tongue.
I'm like, I'm just trying to speak their native tongue, woman. I will say there was a time where me and Lauren used to work together, and like they're like looking over the cubicle at me, like because I changed my voice. I literally put like gummy bears in my lip, like it was dip, and I
Oh
was like,
gosh.
I was talking to these people down in Alabama and down south because sometimes they would call and they would be like, "You from Ohio?" and they would just hang up, and I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like, wow, I didn't realize like I had an accent like that, like
So
they were
sorry,
like,
the union
"You damn New Yorker!"
back when.
Just hang up. So then I noticed that when I did that, they're like, "Oh, you's cool. I'll talk to you," and I'd sell them all kinds of stuff. I'm like, "Yes, dude." They're like looking at me like, "What the hell are you literally doing?" I'm like, "God, my Papa's got to eat, man."
They're slipperier than grease in a goose feather.
Um, there was oh, I guess we should talk about this real quick. I guess I bring this back up. Our good friend Brian Lynn is going to be doing the Carver Con, which is July 11th next year. It's going to be Newark, Ohio, which I think is a little bit outside of Columbus, if I'm correct. I do believe. So I'm hoping that Brian's Con will kind of replace PowerCon a little bit. It'll be like a big mythic meetup. So I'm assuming everybody's selling Blade Bread. Oh gosh, is
Jeez.
some of the biggins. Oh, hey, yes, 30 minutes east of the airport, so that's not that far. That's literally like in our backyard. So I think
It's worth the drive. I mean, anyone in the Midwest should come to that show if they can.
well,
It's
basically, if you were going to go to PowerCon, you're going to this
oh
because
yeah.
this is right. This is it now. So we in fact, I don't even know if we need to talk about PowerCon anymore. We'll just talk about CarverCon and just go
Well,
from
yeah.
there. Yeah,
I
just because
well
at least Brian is making an effort to do something for us Midwestern crazy plastic folk. And as well as just, to get together and do something with some people, I mean, we missed that. I mean, PowerCon was like that was like our home state. That's what that's what we did. So, is maybe Val can go back to California and do PowerCon there, and it'll be great. But we need something cool here in Ohio, something super cool. So we praise Brian. In fact, Brian, you will be knighted, Brian. You will be knighted, you little bastard, you son of a biscuit. Thank you for going above and beyond, trying to get everyone together. I love it. I freaking love it. But yes, check out that. I'm looking forward to that. At least we have a date.
That'll be a good time. Yeah, put that on your calendar now.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a weekend out of it in Columbus. Right, some great food, some great toy stores, comic shops in the area. Some great museums. Check out a Clippers game. Minor league baseball for the Guardians. It's just good. Columbus is a good time.
And I mean, like Brian says, the goal is to make a mini Legions Con feel in the middle of Legions Con. I get it, and I mean, that's a PowerCon. I mean, like, you think about it, the Four Horsemen, they dominated the room. I mean, it was the room. I mean, if you could literally eliminate everything else and just have us there, and that would have been basically CarverCon, is basically how I see that now. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm loving it, dude, loving it. Yes, Brian. So, other than that, I guess anything else before we get into this interviews?
Yeah, I think Jeremy posted about some, a reminder. We got 2 months left of the early bird pricing for Legions Con.
The ticket. Yeah. So you want to say, what is it? Is it $40? I believe $40 for the weekend.
40, maybe 50 now, but it's the cheapest you're going to get for both days because they only sell single tickets at the door.
Finger looking good.
My favorite ever was the meme where it's like, Dad, why is his body so tiny? Because they thought his bolo tie was a stick figure body. You'll never look at the KFC logo the same way again.
It's like Wolverine when they say it's two Batmans kissing one another, and you're like, I just can't. The best ever is when they had RoboCop in the KFC commercials. That was the best. I just love those ones.
For those of you who don't know, Brad has attended toy shows as RoboCop before, and it is the most majestic thing this side of the Mississippi.
I think I did play that video. I think I did. I think I played it when Christopher Michael was on. Yeah, because it was someone's birthday, and I walked by them, and I did the whole. Oh yeah, Lauren says it's on Instagram. So yeah, I called out somebody's birthday, and before I went, I was trying to get Murphy's voice down. I'm like, how would Murphy talk? Murphy. But good times. Yes, I did show up. I still need a 3D printed RoboCop head helmet.
Yeah. Now, would you go cosmic there for the body then? I assume.
Because that outfit I have is kind of it's cloth. It's the helmet being real 3D printed, painted would make the outfit way cooler. It really would.
Okay. Yeah, you're actually talking about like your helmet. I was thinking a custom.
Now customs. Yeah. I've just taken actual NECA RoboCop heads and I just drilled them out. And I think I keep forgetting. I think maybe it's 3/8 is what a NECA ball is. Maybe neck ball. So eventually I just keep drilling until I get to a 3/8, and then I kind of get a little wide. That's how I do on my Arnold head. So yeah, I needed Colin said that to me recently again, said I needed to do some more Arnold posts with my Arnold heads. I haven't done that in years, so maybe I should bring that back.
Yeah, well, you could do a new commando figure with the ATL leader or a Dutch. That
You
would be
just got.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I just got to get that barbarian, pop out the Arnold skin tones with the black skin tones, and I have the head. It's there. Thank you. That is great. What is up, Mr. Ed? What's going on, my dude? So, I guess we will get into this. Mike's probably watching, like, answer the questions. Feel the fury.
Do you have like a button with like a red light behind your camera?
I know. Yeah, it's like
Code red.
I know
Code
it's
red.
Mike calling in, like, dude, just get on with it, dude. Ask the damn questions. J Mac, what's up, my dog? Let's see. Adam Power says PowerCon needs to come back to California. I agree. At this point, Val, he seemed to run it better in California, I guess, because I don't know what he's doing. He lost some money. Horrible. So let's get into this. Obviously, without further, I didn't introduce you, so let's get this official. Our guest tonight is a Legions collector and Four Horsemen Studio super fan. He is also known within the community as the Pin Guy. Please welcome our friend, David Lewton.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, he's like, peace, gotta be here. He's like, hopefully the Cavs win.
Cavs in 7, please.
Yeah, I know. Iz is like, yeah, Golden State in 7 too. I feel like there's a big mix-up. There has been a lot of mix-up in the NBA, so we'll see. But if it's anything like we watched the other night, I don't want to watch that. So I'm happy to be here with my fellow Ohio friend. And let's see here. So tell us how you got into collecting toys as an adult.
Sure. And I don't know if I ever actually stopped collecting from when I was a kid. So I kind of, maybe there was some slowdown in college and a little bit post, but always kind of cherry picked or kept my eye out for something. But I come from a big family. I have 4 older sisters, and the rumor goes that my one older sister was worried that I didn't have any boy toys to play with, that I was only getting passed down, Barbies and Care Bears and My Little Pony. So, all right. Thanks, Lauren. Cavs up. We're doing well. So one of the neighbors on our street gave her a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, a Leonardo, and then it just crescendoed from there. Leonardo is still my favorite turtle. Absolutely was a TMNT kid growing up. And I think the first time I met you, Brad, you were actually wearing the Roosevelt's TMNT shirt that was my bed sheets as a child. So there's some mixed feelings going on there during that interaction. It's a fantastic shirt.
It's made out of bed sheets. Let's be honest.
Hopefully not my bed sheets as a kid, because I was still pretty young. No, and then I was really big into Power Rangers. When that came out, I was the sweet spot target audience for that. My mom actually loved telling the story of first time I went to kindergarten and the nurse asked if I liked Barney, and I said, Barney dies, Power Rangers kill Barney. And thankfully, she was a family friend because she knew my sisters. But she was just laughing as my mom was doing damage control. Like, no, he likes Power Rangers. Don't talk about the purple dinosaur. But then really Power Rangers kind of kind of aged out of that a little bit, grew out of that. But still kind of followed that as an adult actually. But then Star Wars obviously was huge. Then the re-release in the '90s of the original trilogy, that started me on my 3 3/4 journey. Then the prequels obviously just magnified that. I was in middle school, high school when those came out, and it was beautiful. My first job, I remember going, taking my check right to Toys R Us to get some action figures. And then kind of college, kind of subsided a little bit, but I would still like cherry pick some of the things that I'd missed out on. And then I remember, really, I think it was the return of Marvel Legends in like 2011, 2012, where I feel like they took a step forward from the old Toy Biz days, the old, even the early Hasbro days, where everybody kind of looked elongated or weirdly stretched out and painted, very pale or thin. And so that kind of, comics were a big influence in my life. So Marvel Legends kept going, and then, Black Series came out, and I was doing that, and then probably around 2017, found Mythic Legions, and that's where most of my money goes now.
Well, so that was my next question: was how did you come to start collecting Mythic Legion products?
Well, I think I saw them on a toy board, whether it was 4chan or subreddit. But I saw the Templars, and I've always been kind of interested in those guys. I'm confirmed in the Catholic Church. Not really practicing, but right, you gotta have that like vault, like, right, like, oh, you put on a bucket helmet and go kill a bunch of people for God. Like, what guy doesn't have that like immediate, like, okay, tell me more, right? Like, you just run up and you're like, tell me more. So those really got me started, and then I looked into the line a little bit more, and I remember the first going to like the old store Horseman on like 3D cart, and like looking up what they had, and I was like, okay, so I got they didn't have any Templars in stock, but they had Etheron. So my first purchase from the Horseman officially was Etheron. Which is crazy.
Wow. That's a huge first purchase.
Yeah, wings falling off, but so he is still one of my all-time favorite characters.
God, he can still fly. I mean, come on.
He still flies, yeah.
Still flies. He's just there for show, bro.
Like early 2017, and then I got I didn't really find the Cabal till after the pandemic, but I kind of kept steady with in-stock sales and pre-orders. So I guess I was pretty lucky, because the only thing I really missed out on was the original Kickstarter, because then I was able to get in stock of the first All-Stars wave, Sir Godfrey. I remember running out of work, sitting in my car on my phone, like, all right, I gotta get Godfrey. And I got Godfrey in a forest troll, and I was like the happiest person in the world. It was great.
So you've obviously been around for a while with the Mythic, with the Four Horsemen product, obviously.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot happen. Then I kind of went back and kind of tracked down some of the ones from the Kickstarter that needed to have, like, Asterion, Minotaur,
my favorite.
Right? Like, that dude is just he's beastly. I hope we actually get a 2.0 of him in a brute scale. So, but he just looks so great.
I think I've said this before on the show. I say a lot of things. I repeat them. It's just like, let's get it into people's heads. At Intern last year, I did hear Eric Treadway say, people probably walk in front of our house, that he would do, and in fact wants to do, a version 2 of Asterion.
Ooh, I would love that. Yeah, whether like that, like the Mythos line, I think that's a good
He's
spot.
confirmed that, and he's confirmed that he wants to redo a Ragna version too.
Oh, okay.
So he did confirm that at intern. So I'm like, yeah, yeah. So them doing the legendary figures, I can see them, or the legends of figures that they're gonna do. I could see them bringing back. I mean, they said we're getting Aetheron.
I mean, that's what they confirmed 2.0 for him and Xylona.
Yeah.
I think that
So knowing that,
yeah,
it sounds like we'll get some pretty cool faction leaders version 2s, and he would have to be one of them. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
one of the girls I was happy to get was an Otho.
Damn! Now you're just
I was
like
just
now
flexing on them. Yeah, so that was actually from a Cabal member. I think they were getting out of the line. But yeah, that was so like
patience.
some of the ones like Uncan, Otho, Galeron. I mean, those are hard hitters that just made me really happy to have.
I mean, yeah, you have some hitters in front of you right now. I mean, some big hitters.
Yeah.
The Galeron is
Galeron, got Rhaegor.
Rhaegor's the shit. Yeah, he is. He is.
Lona.
I
Yeah,
know some people don't like Xylona. I don't know why. I think you have to know the line. And I think I didn't kind of care for her, but once understanding the line and the lore and whatnot, she is perfect for Xylona's flock. She is what the flock is. So.
Oh yeah, and I had I know the comic's not canon, but I really enjoyed the comic. Right where Artemis and Mike Casper kiss, in his wet dream. So like that was just cool, right? Because you see this elf princess kissing a skeleton, assassin dude, and you're like, I want to know more, right? Like it's the Templar thing. Like I want to know more. Like tell me more.
Is it funny that when Mike got his tribute figure, I immediately thought of that comic because it was like I like pan back up because he always talks about that because that was his favorite figure, and he's like, "Oh, Scapula over there smacking that ass," And when he became a Mir Caspar, and I'm like, I immediately pan to that comic where he's over there smooching on.
Oh my gosh. That's
Oh
awesome.
my God. So yeah, Artemis. So he was good times. Hopefully Mike's watching to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised because like Xylona still has, I think she's the only one with that like torso piece still, like the kind of the leaf, like the leaf top. And I really like her. I know some people thought she looked more like a goat, face than like a deer. And I was like, it kind of depends. Like you look at a female deer and like it's pretty close. Like the sculpting's pretty good, but I can, no one's perfect. No bones about that one.
Well, I mean, there's a comic about it. He's straight over there making out with Artemis, and I don't even think she wanted it. He's just like, yeah, baby,
Yeah, no, that was his. What do you call it? His boon, right? Like he did that so they could kill the like bard and set up like a mystery.
I hope Silver Court. Oh, that's fucking great. Oh, that's great. Well, yeah, we need a we need a meal to redo that comic, but like in a parody form like that.
Oh, now it's going to be like he's some rich billionaire from a foreign land, in his cover story, and is trying to do like a Prince Charming thing.
Yeah, it's freaking great. Mike's over there, 2.0 figures, get over here, woman.
Yeah, that any of those like early things really got me into the line, like the lore and the faction leaders, and then kind of just seeing like how it grew. And I'm sure you had this, or a lot of people in the line had it. when they were looking at like early waves, because they're pretty decently priced, compared to like other lines, like, $20 for a Marvel Legends or Black Series, you're paying,
Yeah.
32, 35, 37 for a figure. And they're like, do I need multiples? Do I really need this character? And I remember it was, I think, the Coliseum wave. And I wasn't really a Motu, kid growing
Yeah.
up. I didn't really have too much exposure to it. But I got into it a little bit later in life. And man, I was just glad they included alternate heads, because I was like, oh well, I don't need not He-Man or not Skeletor, but I can use them in their factions.
Yeah.
And so I ordered one of each, and man, I was so happy I did, to get them at like regular price, and have those gems, because then you look 2-3 years later and people are paying $200-$300, a figure for those guys, and you're like, what am I doing? You pop off the alternate heads, you put them back to not
Yeah.
He-Man, not Skeletor. And it was pretty nifty that way. Kind of going through the line, you're like, I'm not sure if I'm going to want this, but maybe I'll just order one just in case. I know a lot of people are like, well, if you don't like it, you can flip it. And I always said I would do that, if I didn't like the character. And I don't think I've sold more than 2 or 3 Mythic Legions total, and those are just the buddies of mine trying to get into the line. So uh, it's very hard for me to part with Mythics.
No doubt. Now, within the community, you're known as the pin guy because of your collection of Four Horsemen Studios pins you wear to the cons. How did this start, and why this love for pins?
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. It's something I really didn't, probably around like 10 years ago. Um, my job at the time, we had these like half cubicles, and they had kind of like tack boards along the side of them, and no one would, they may put a picture of family up or something, but they were pretty bare. And then our company gave us pins. Some people wore them, some people threw them out. I put one on the board, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then my first kind of business travel was to um, a partner event in the Minnesota Twins baseball stadium, and I I bought it. I was like, I kind of want a souvenir, something just to remember it, because it was really cool. New Twin Stadium had just opened up, and I got a twin pin to put on that board when I got back to work. Well, then it just became, how much can I fill up this board? So anytime I traveled for work someplace new, or personally someplace new, I would get a pin to put on that board. So it became this,
Oh,
pretty sweet, um, almost like timeline of my life, just through pins, and kind of like highlighted that. And then when you know my now wife and I, we went to Disney, and that's just a whole pin palooza. So you could really go overboard there, but you get a couple of your favorite rides, or characters.
yeah, big
But then
catalog.
I think it was 2017. Soul Spiller went up for pre-order, and that's when they released the faction pins, and I got a set. I couldn't order it fast enough. I was like, these are really cool. They're the faction logos. I can wear them to cons, kind of display them with my figures too.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, obviously, the Horsemen have a lot of pins. I mean, especially like like I'm showing some of the intern pins and G-Con pins that they give out.
Yeah.
Um,
So
the
it
anniversary pins.
it's crazy. Out of the Horseman pins, I'm only missing, that I know of, 3. And it's 2 G-Con pins and 1 intern pin.
Ooh.
So I'll probably make a post later in the cabal, see if anyone has them. But um, yeah, those 3. Eventually, I'll get them. I have no doubt that I'll track them down. So
Now, what intern pin are you missing?
yeah, so I think I'm probably the only one tracking this in depth as well. So there's it was the 2021 Poxis G-Con blue, the blue pin. And then the 2023 Rising Suns, it's the white G-Con and the white intern for a day pin. But each G-Con, each intern for a day is corresponding with dates that they put on the back of them. So, but
So okay, what's the second pin?
the second is the 2023 intern for a day with the Rising Suns wave.
See, I didn't go to that one. Yeah, I didn't go to that one.
Yeah,
I wasn't invited, and then I didn't go, and they're like, "Why didn't you go?" And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't invited." And they're like, "You can just show up." I'm like, "No,
I know.
I don't do that."
And some of the studio members have been super helpful, helping me complete some of those, especially, George Gaspar, Jeremy Gerard, Chris.
I know I have the 21 pin. I'll see if I want to come off with it.
Okay.
Because I was there. I was there.
I'll pay for it. Yeah, a lot of people.
Damn right, you're gonna pay. No.
I know a lot of people, if they win, that's a cool memento for them, right?
It kind of is. Obviously, that was my first intern, and it was special. That's why I'm like, but I did get a bust, so I still have a bust from that.
Yeah. And I don't want to take your pin if it still holds value sentimentally or otherwise too, Brad. Right? Because that's the joy of it. Like, I love seeing people. Right, I know people call it flair. How much flair do you have on? But it's cool. Like, I'll my horseman pins in a backpack now because there's just so many of them. But then I'll usually wear a lanyard as well, and I'll have some of the great vendor artist pins, and then some pins that kind of show off my personality a little bit. Like this was, so like. My lanyard from Legion's Con is very heavy, but you got some Eric Miller pins there, Death by Collectibles, D13, Wolf King, Legion's Lounge. It's pretty cool. Representing those artists, and then still stuff that like I got Cleveland Guardians, the Mighty Thor is one of my favorite comic characters. Mighty Ducks. Leland Kwando and I have a great, Mighty Ducks reference. Then there's like Laika, the Russian space dog. Kind of have a thing for Russian, a little bit of like Russian culture. You know how they say when you're, when you turn like mid-30s, you either smoke meats or you get really into a war. Well, I didn't go World War II. I went the Cold War. And I got a lot of Russian, Ukraine, Eastern European heritage. So it was kind of cool. Plus, they make great Hollywood villains for whatever reason. So but got an Indiana Jones pin, The Predators, one of my favorite pins. You got Star Wars, Buzz Lightyear as an Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Oh, yeah.
So just I like showing my personality with pins too, as well as highlight some cool things I'm into.
Yeah, the pins are cool. I do dig them. I didn't get last year's intern pin.
That was I think that was like a black with orange. I got an update. I think I was doing a running post on Facebook of kind of like the history. I got to do a better job of keeping that up to date.
Yeah, I think that's what I was showing. I used your post as a kind of a guide to show them all there. Well, that's cool. You're 3 away. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and though like the G-Con and the intern for a day, I'd say those are pretty niche. Like if because if people weren't there, usually they don't want them as much. Like not as much as like a faction logo or like a figure obscura pin. Which always sell out. So always order those early or getting all in so you can get a pin. Or even like the 4-H logos. And then Len at Wolf King, he does a really cool job of doing Cabal pins, for each Legion's Con. We showed this bad boy again.
here. Oh yeah, I was going to say we got more people watching now.
So you got
Damn.
the cabal above all. You know, you got the studio pins. Then you got the colored faction, and then the rare gold faction logos, which they only found a handful of. Then the figure obscuras, and then at the bottom, probably my three favorites there. It's kind of hard to see the blackout Keltis, Gold Santa, and then there's a Cosmic Waltzer proof. Those were gifts from the studio that are pretty rare. That just make me feel like extra special
That's
because
cool.
only a handful of people have those.
Well, that's cool. I mean, and they obviously know that you appreciate that. So I think
Oh
that would
yeah,
be the smartest thing to do is to reach out
yeah. I
to
feel
somebody
like
who,
was it
go
when
ahead.
that new character like Zoo or XUE from Ashes of Agbender when they're like he's the librarian. I was like that's what I feel like the historian of pins for the studio. Just having those all the time in my backpack.
No, I'll do that. I just noticed your last name wasn't capitalized.
Yeah, so
Terrible. Terrible producing. Terrible producing.
yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, it makes me feel like I have, it's cool to share those off with the people who haven't seen them or don't know about them. And then they're like, hey, I need to, I just want the Xylona's flock or, Alithia's brood. And then, I've helped some people track down those individual factions too.
Now Lauren says the pin master. I actually like the pin master. The pin master.
Yeah,
Dude, if
I
like,
kind of,
what Adam or Iz said, if you were a WWE wrestler, you the pin master.
yeah, heard a couple things at Legion's Con last year. The Pin King, which I thought might be copyright infringement from Lenny Patino, it being
Oh
a
yeah.
king pin.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, I didn't want to step on his toes. Right, he does good work. I got a head
Yeah.
sculpt from him. The Cabal.
Oh my
Pretty
god.
cool. So yeah,
Rob's
love
more
love
Pinhead. Then
love the
Adam's is
king
better
pin.
than Pinhead.
Yeah, Pinhead. I didn't get that one. I said pin guy around Ish, and Ish he thought he heard porn guy, and he was like, wait a second, what do you do with those pins? And then we had a great conversation after that. But yeah, Pin Master, I like.
Yeah, Pin Master's got the Pin Master. Pin Master. The Pin Master.
But then I have a problem too because like my wife always laughs. She's like, "Why? Didn't you already get that pin?" And I was like, "Oh well, like the Ganesha, I'll get complimentary pins that are like similar. So like there's
Okay.
a Ganesha pin, or like I got one of that's not Beathir, but I found one pretty similar with an artist
That
online. So
is
it's a cool
pretty.
placeholder.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. Cool.
So it kind of rounds it out a little bit, and gives me something to hunt in between mythic waves too, where I can find a nice little pin to add to the collection.
Yeah, that actually looked like something Emil would do. It's like Emil's cartoon version of Bay.
The other one, and some people like it too, like
Yeah.
for the you find complimentary ones like there's the Welcome to Sleepy Hollow
Oh, that's cool.
sign.
That's
You put it
cool.
with you put it with the headless horseman. You kind of put that, or like I got a Krampus bell from the movie, or like even Red Death. You find like a bloody clock, and it's just like a cool little compliment piece to go with it.
Some of those pins, I mean, would like that Sleepy Hollow pin, that would even look cool. Like you could probably just put that right in the dio.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you could have your figure up right next to it and like just undo the thing and just stick it right in a dio, foam
Yeah.
dio.
And that not getting credit or comps for anything for this, but someone in the Cabal, maybe it was Walter or someone else, had gone to Sleepy Hollow before one of the Legion's
Yeah.
cons because it's not too far away. It's only about an hour and a half, and so my buddy Sean and we did that in 2023. We went early and went to Sleepy Hollow for like an evening, walked the cemetery, did the tour, walked over the bridge, saw some of the the cool local sites, and it was awesome in the fall. They said come during Halloween because it's like a mega rave type
Oh, yeah.
promotion, but Legion's Con's only a week and a half after Halloween, so there was still some cool stuff up that we were able to see, but definitely worth going as a pit stop if you're interested in kind of that cryptid legend literary lore.
Kevin says, "Are you one of the Disney pin guys?" I think you said you had some, but you don't go too crazy on them.
Yeah, I definitely have some. I try and I can't get everyone. That is too crazy or too expensive. I try and limit it to certain characters I like or certain movies I like, especially those growing up as a kid. Like Bug's Life. Not everyone's favorite movie is Bug's Life, but I loved it. I was 10, 11 years old when it came out. So it was like, hit the spot, or like Atlantis, The Lost Empire. So some of those pins are rarer to come by because they don't make those as often as like a Goofy pin or, like a Lilo and Stitch pin, which my wife and I love Lilo and Stitch. So we get a lot of those pins. Hey, Eric. Eric makes awesome Disney customs, by the way. He
does.
Every time, I got some of his pins on my lanyard, but he had a Figment dragon. I think that was actually his picture there that popped up too. With the mace is the Epcot ball. I mean, that's just like chef's kiss. Perfect application there of it. And then Lauren said Bug's Life is my fave. Hell yeah.
So actually we'll get into that, and we'll actually, Eric, if you're watching, I'm going to do a slide of one of your posts of Legion's Con.
There's my plug too. Make sure you get your Legion's Lady pin. It's a beautiful pin. Got that from Tanya Miller at Legion's Con this past year. So that is a gorgeous pin. Definitely recommend.
Go Legion ladies.
Yeah, where's the Legion's Lair pin? A little disappointed.
Yeah, we never got pins. I don't know. I've never even looked into it, but yeah, maybe I should get some pins.
Yeah, reach out. George Gaspar.
No pin. Yeah,
George Gaspar, I know, has helped out a couple other people in the community to make pins with Double G toys that he does.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could see us doing pins. Pins would be cool. Pins would be cool. Like a limited, like a super limited. Like I got a couple dozen. This is it, baby.
Yeah. Then you start trading them for customs or other things at Legion's Con. Like, do you have the limited edition pin as you're sitting on 500 of them?
You're like, yes. Now, what was your Legion's Con 2024 experience like? And how excited are you for Legion's Con 2025? If you are planning on attending, if that's
absolutely. I was a little worried this year because I was in a work meeting when the hotel block went up. So I ended up calling directly and using like my Marriott status that I have from work to be like, hey, I'm going to be in the area. Like, do you guys have, there's this conference I'm going to. It's called Legion's Con. And they're like, yeah, let me get you a room. And it was great. So Legion's Con each year has gotten better and better. The first one I was at was with you in the La Quinta in 2022. And 2024 just kept raising the bar. I think there's my buddy Sean.
Sean.
And it's great artwork from oh my gosh, what
Nate. Yeah, Nate.
Nate, thank you. Drew a blank there. Yeah, Nate Barch has the best art ever. I love his art. So I always grab a print from Nate. But I feel like each year I get a new tradition at Legion's Con. So this was 2023. I got those heads.
This is a couple years ago.
Yeah, and that was kind of cool because I wasn't really into customizing. I pretty much my Legion figures were stock. And then I think it was you actually, you or Mike, that basically were like, well, just pop a head off. Right? Just, it's super easy. Um, you know,
Enabling boom.
and it was crazy because that first year in 2022, I think I got like one or two heads just to try it, and then I was hooked. I was like, oh, this, I can do this, right? And I dabbled in. Then I got a bunch of 3D printed parts, but I haven't started painting them yet. But there's so many great tutorials out there. Jeremy Ballinger, local Ohio guy as well.
Yeah.
He's got amazing paint tutorials that I'm trying out. There's the Cabal head by Lenny Patino. Great head there. Walter, such a great dude, the madman.
Stood there and signed the figure all day long.
Yes, yeah. There's those guys always blow my mind with how great their cosplays are. Rebecca and John, so good. But yeah, I think every year I start a new tradition where it's right, like the first year was okay, I got some painted heads. The next year it was okay, I got some effects pieces, from some of the artists. Like I think Immortal or some of the other folks, and just then it was like, okay, I want to get that again next year. And then it was, oh, I get a print from Nate Barch. Oh, then I get a full custom from Leland Oquando. Like, okay, so how much money am I actually pouring into these things? And then I realized I start saving right now, kind of time frame 6 months out, of just putting away a little bit each check. So that way it's my Legion's Con slush funds, and I don't feel as bad taking a big rip. But yeah, the crazy part is that we have a lot of the the toys that are at the Horseman booth, maybe except one of the new exclusives. But I look forward to the customs now more and more each year, and who brought what, and just how creative people have been. It really is an art show. I like to tell people, and just they put their passion on display. It's incredible, that what these people have made, and love just sharing with the world. And you can just feed off that energy. So yeah, definitely had a great experience last year. Looking forward to this year. Definitely got to get there early. I think we drove home Sunday. There's Elliot. Drove home Sunday night, which was a mistake because we were so exhausted, and the Pennsylvania Turnpike is the worst road in America. So I think we're staying until Monday this year for sure.
Yes, that's a good idea. Me and Mike did that last year, and it was actually not that bad. It was a lot better than leaving Sunday after the show. That's for sure. Speaking of Mike,
I'll say too, a weird tradition that's come up is I'm a lunch runner for Reynolds Cruz and Chris Olsen. We can't eat hotel food anymore, but they can't leave their booths. So they're like, Dave, nice. Can you get us food? So I try and find something local. Like last year, there was this chicken nugget place that did like weird, crazy things. So there was like a cinnamon toast crunch coated chicken nugget that I got them. So, but now that's kind of become a tradition too, and it's pretty cool to keep it going and kind of challenge me to find a new place for them to snack on.
Me and Mike don't venture out too far from the hotel, but I definitely want to this year. I said I'm going to this pizza joint. I talked to Greg. I'm going. Whoever wants to come with me can come.
Yeah,
Dave Pontier ranked it very high on his bar sports freaking thing, and he never rates stuff high, so it was high. So I got to go try this super high ranked pizza in New Jersey.
I always look to see like what Food Network has like rated, or like what's the local greasy spoon, or even like a comic shop. There's one not too far from the hotel, like probably 5-10 miles, called Fat Moose Comics that we went to. It was awesome. It was this little shop, and we got some comic books too. you know, it was a nice little break from the con too, just to stretch your legs
Yeah.
outside of, you know, all those people.
And Greg, obviously Greg, big tall Greg, Surusak knows pizza. He knows pizza. He could probably be doing pizza reviews. Pizza connoisseur. I'm after watching that review, because I always watch his reviews because I just think they're funny, you know. And normally, because at first, I mean, he'll say he likes it. He'd be like, "This is good pizza. I like it. I give it a 7." And I'm like, "A 7? Like, you just said you liked it. You gave it a 7?" But I noticed like he doesn't give high scores. Like, that's just where he's at. Like, if you get a 9 or higher, like it's like like he never gives nobody gets a 10.
It's
So he gave this people like a 9-1 or something in New Jersey. And I was like, what the shit? I mean, I immediately looked it up to see how close it was from the hotel. And it's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you know, or something like that. And I messaged Greg. I said, "Have you heard of this place?" He goes, "Oh, that's one or second best pizza spots I've ever eaten at." And I'm like, "Dude, are you serious? Mr. Pizza Connoisseur said it's his number 1 and 2." And he says, "Yeah, where the hotel is not very good pizza." He says, "You have to drive a half-hour radius outside of where we are." And he goes, "And all the pizza in this half hour radius is just bomb," is what he told me. He said, "But that place is top notch."
That's
And I'm
yeah,
like,
you
"I
got
gotta go now. I just have to go. I have to go. I have to go."
yeah, let me know. I would love to join you
Yeah,
or
like
get some pie.
yeah, like I said, we can all go. I don't
It's
have a
hilarious.
table this year, so I mean, like, I'm free. Like, I feel
Oh,
free this year. I feel like I'm back to being a fan. Like, you know, like, people know the Legion's Lair. I mean, look, we got our 20 little group people watching right now. Yeah, it's my dogs. It's my dog.
you should get temporary tattoos printed off, and then like do the right, like the Dylan and Dutch, you son of a, you know, handshake,
Yeah.
and then they're both rocking the Legion's Lair tat.
I was gonna actually put Dutch and some weird like Arnold names from movies on shirts and give them away the one year, but when they said how much extra they were, I was like, "These people should just be happy I'm giving out free freaking t-shirts." Oh my god, Ed, let's go. It's pizza time. Dude, I'm telling you. Look, XM gave me great places to eat. Yeah, I mean, well, Michael Xavier. I was like, who's MX? Michael Xavier. He knows what he's talking about too, because he lives around there as well. So
Okay.
yes.
Well,
Yeah, I'll be joining you. Dude, seriously, I'm down for good pizza. Down for good.
Brad, that could be a Legion Slayer plug. Is you guys like send the best Legions Con food right in the lead up, and you guys put together a little chart of like distance from hotel, like
Where
how
the
many.
good fest. Yeah. I'm down. I know Ish talked about Mythic Karaoke, but he wanted to do this was 2 years ago when Ish was supposed to come and he couldn't come the first year at the hotel where we're at, 23. So he couldn't come in 23, and I think he wanted to leave. He found a spot like a mile or something down the street where we were all gonna go sing karaoke. And you know, we started thinking like maybe that's not real smart. You know, I don't know.
Just a bunch of foghorns in the night.
Yeah. So, because you know you're going to be drinking, you know, and you're in New Jersey and you're out of town. So I mean, I just didn't think that was that great. But at the same time, what you know, if they would allow us to do something in a room downstairs off to the side and sing, I'm down. I'm down for Mythic Karaoke. Just give us a couple hours, let us have fun. I mean, let's do it, baby. Let's do it. I'm down.
Wow. Yeah, there's got to be one of those like breakout rooms or like you know, some like janitor closet that they're like we can squirrel them away here.
Well, I mean, like the armory experience. Like, why don't before you guys come in and bring all your figures in, just let us party out in here, dude. Okay, let's kick
Gosh.
it.
Dude, I can see this now. Bard Jones karaoke experience
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Armory.
Broder's Music Hall. Looking at Broder's music.
Uh,
All right, it's time to put you in the hot seat. Oh my God, Joe Isakwe, I'm down. Yes, baby. It is hot seat time, baby. Time for
I'm ready.
flame. I hopefully you got my flame retardant underwear for the hot flaming fire that you're about to go through here. Mike sent you the question, so you know what is up. What should we start off with first? What is your favorite Legion's faction or affiliation, and can you explain why?
Yeah, so that's it's a pretty easy one. Since my first figure was Ethiron proper, the crowned eagle with the Templars. I mean, it just all fell in line, right? Like the whole thing, the lore of like corruption. Yeah, right. Just divine intervention. But yeah, the crowned eagle. I mean, everything about it, like the just the right, the knights, every knight having kind of a backstory. Some are mysterious, like Galaron. Some you had a dwarf, religious dwarf. Which how many times do you see a religious dwarf in Sir Valgard there? So it was pretty cool, and I kind of stuck with that since, and everything that's come out, I've been a huge fan of. Greg's tribute figure, Sir Uberjack. The walking cathedral, like, come on. I mean, that dude that's a guy you want as a tank behind you. Like, I would love, and maybe this is an Eric Miller wish list item, but if you could somehow put like Sir Ukjak with the Hunchback of Notre Dame and have like a Bell of Notre Dame mace, like that would just be next level.
Damn. Crom, speaking the pizza gods. Timitran. That is
yes.
What is
definitely an underrated faction. I feel like everyone goes for Skellies or Goblins or the Brood. Not as much love. I mean, Elliot Lee aside.
Yeah, there's a few, but yeah, a lot of people tend to go to the Flock or. It's funny. Everybody seems to love the Barbarians, but they don't. They're like, they don't want to come out and say it. They're like, they don't want to commit.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like, commit, people, commit. Oh, what is your favorite Legion's race, and can you explain why?
Oh, I probably got to go with the elves and the Fae. That's kind of always been my go-to fantasy trope, right? Like Lord of the Rings, I love Legolas, and the Mirkwood elves, and once the elves come to Helm's Deep, you're like, oh shit, getting serious, right? Like, so I've always definitely liked those guys, probably the most, from a fantasy race perspective.
And it's funny too, because the elves showed up and they're like, oh, shit, the elves, we don't need their help. And it's like, no, you did, bro. You needed help, bro.
Yeah, like old dude there let the arrow fly, right? Like he doesn't have the stamina anymore.
Deadly sin is pride, son. You're gonna have to sit back and let these bows fly. What race that doesn't yet exist in Legions would you like to be made?
Ooh, so anyone who knows me knows I love the lizard men. So like I've gotten big into like Savage Crucible. Their wave one. That was an easy Kickstarter backer for me. This
I'm
one
like, all right, gotta go. No.
yeah, right. This one, I'm not sure who sculpted the head, but Reynolds Cruz painted that. That was one I picked up at Legion's Con last year, and then I popped that on, the Armory Green Ranger build. It's one of my favorite figures now because it just works so well. But with the Nimian body and the Oleg Thygar body and Cosmic, right, they're kind of like lizard men, like the Thraxians a little bit.
Yeah.
So like those I ordered heavy because I was like, if they do a head pack with some lizards, I'm repopping all those bad boys. So yeah, lizard men is my number one wish list there. We got snake men, so we're close.
We're close. All right. This is gonna get deep. What are your 5 favorite Legion's figures? Starting from 5 to 1, and explain why.
5 to 1. All right. So I keep going back to him, but number 5 is Ethiron proper. And I'm so
Oh,
excited to get a 2.0 version of him. But
yeah,
this, I feel like, I know a lot of people love the birds. This guy, I feel like, is the ultimate bird, right?
he is.
Like his
He is.
armor, his you know, the Heaven's Brand sword, just kind of the coloring on him, the weathering. Like he is the ultimate bird. Um, you know, you could argue Eagleist, go
He's,
USA. Um, but
he's in my
for
top
me, it
five.
was the Ethiron, and he was my first one too. So I
Yeah,
think
he's in
there's
my
some
top.
sentimental value to go. But he's dated, right? Like he's the bird
Yeah,
sculpt, is a little dated now. Still holds up pretty well, but compared to some of the new stuff, that's why I put him at number 5.
I'm excited because I got a feeling that he will be a 1.0 figure, which is a little bit bigger than what he is now, and would be awesome. Just to be a 1.0 figure bird would be great. If they made it a little bit bigger, beefier, brute would be, because he's a god. He needs to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, he needs to be chunky,
yeah,
right? Like he needs to have some presence. And I think there's right. Jeremy kind of teased there might be an Aether 2.0 coming to match the size of
yeah.
the
Because I think they're starting
Odysseus.
to realize that, like, hey, maybe he can transform into this 1.0 person, but he is technically. And maybe that's the thing, maybe, when he rides the horse, he's the 1.0 scale person that he should be because he's the warrior that he once was or something. But when he's not, he's this huge demon of a god. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, no, an honorable mention to all the Dark Forts, and I think that Aether 2.0 would be cool because you kind of see like, he was still almost as like with the Old Guard 1.0, and then really got into soft goods with Alithia and Poxus, blew the doors open with that chest piece and
Yeah.
the crown, and Necronomus is just
Do you think his
awesome.
pauldrons can get any bigger though? I mean, come on, can they get any bigger?
I mean, that's to me though. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Metalocalypse, right on Cartoon Network.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, but I have no.
Um,
I know what you're talking
no,
about.
Brad, that's right up your alley, man. You got to watch at least the first season because it is just like the rock gods. And to me, Aether having like these huge ass pauldrons of
Dude,
just demons and like the gauges, and you got the like basically the grill face mask. Like that's not Burger King have it your way. That's I'm gonna flame grill your butt. Like I'm coming after you. So.
no doubt.
All right, so 4,
Cool.
I gotta go with my boy up here, Grisha the Slitherer.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I think this is probably one of the only head sculpts that has not been reused in the line, with kind of like the Eastern European, like Kremlin building top. I've called it. Some people call it the soft serve swirl head.
Yes, that is true. I don't.
Um,
I wonder why they didn't try to redo that. Like even
yeah.
remove the top and use the actual helmet face and maybe redo the top or something.
Yeah, so people have said, it's kind of like the Boba Fett of the line because his armor is so unique. Which I love Boba Fett as well.
Yeah.
So that just love the vibe of him kind of having that, assassin bio too, being one of the Red Sun's, premier guys. So Mike's number 2.
And Mike's like, oh,
All right, number 3, probably go with guys the Nimian soldier. So got a
oh,
few of
okay,
these guys. Right.
yeah.
I think the coloring on this guy alone, just blew me away. Like
The back of him.
the that's what I was gonna say. Like you see
I
him
mean, he
here and
looked
he
great in
looks
the front,
great.
but like that red, yeah,
Navy and red just really pop. And the alternate head sculpt with kind of that snarl, snake
yeah.
snarl. that's just great. And I mean, it looks good on anything they've done. The Thraxians, Oleg Thygar,
Yeah.
um, the Snake Wizard guy we're getting in the retailer wave. I think it's just a good sculpt that they've dressed up so many ways that I'll keep buying it because I like how they've done it.
Oh, I do too. I do too. Once again, it was so cool to be. If you don't make it to Legion's Con, it's so cool because to be with all these people and you're experiencing all this cool stuff, and then there's like all these little secret little things that are happening that like get people to talk. It gets the community talking and keeps us in the room longer. I mean, like when everyone saw that figure sneaking in the back of that dio,
Oh my gosh.
that's what everyone talked about Friday. I mean, it was just that's all they talked about was.
Yeah, and it was.
Is this going to be for sale tomorrow? Is this going to be for sale? Is this what the sale? Is this going to be the next infantry? I mean, what is this? Valiant Knight?
Yeah. Yeah. Once they vomited Beathir, they were like, "Snake guy.
Yeah.
I need the snake guy." Right? Like it was either Beathir or the snake guy.
That was a great point, David, because we had just got hit with like amazing gods, and then we got the dragon, and then we like walking out and our heads are like blown, and it's like, what is this? So it's
I need my snake guy too. Like, let me have him.
Yeah, and it's really cool to be there and have them do that stuff, and it gets you wondering what they're going to do this year, because it's like when we got the Valiant Knight, it was like, are they going to do this again next year? And it's like they did.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they going to do it again? Yeah. So
I feel like Valiant may have been like a cool Easter egg, and then once people lost their minds for it, it was like, okay, how can we top this? And I feel like they did it well.
Yeah, they didn't try and they didn't do nothing the night before. Like we just woke up Saturday and walked in, and it's like, hey, look, there's a new figure on the desk over there for sale. It's like, get out of here. What? It's like, no, go check it out. It's like, well, no, they wouldn't do that. And it's like, they did do that.
They got us again.
Like, no surprises or nothing. So to surprise us and show us that, because I mean, some people are walking by and going, well, isn't that the figure that we just saw? And it's like, no, it's not. That figure's on the other side. Like, this is a different figure. Oh my god. So yeah, I love. That's a great figure. Good choice.
So number 2 actually just got last weekend. And it would be the legendary Barbarian.
Oh my god.
So this guy, I wasn't, I was like, yeah, I'll get him. And
oh my god.
I've won this guy's box. I've won. I've been playing with. It's just fantastic. I mean, that dude, that scratches all the Barbarian itches that we've wanted. Right. I love the 3 different mop top heads too. Wig colors, if you will. So you have not Conan, not He-Man, but it's like the loadout's great on him. It just feels great in hands. The articulation's really well done. I like what he comes with. I love even just the backstory that, he's a random roaming guy of legend, and you could really kind of put him in wherever you want within your collection.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was excited about him, but when then I received him at Muskegon, he's something else. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's definitely everything that everybody wants in a barbarian. What is it? Frazetta girls? No, you don't want that. You want this. This is what you want.
I was going to say, it is almost uncanny how good the horsemen are at like anticipating market demand for some of these things. Because like now you do have like the Frazetta girls, Conan, you got Loose Collectibles doing, things, Savage Crucible doing things. And it's like these guys continue to raise the bar. And this guy was probably made a year and a half ago. So,
and I was just about to say, it's not like Eric saw that and goes, "I'm gonna sculpt this real quick, and we're just gonna have it shipped overnight." It's like, no, dude, like, that's not the way this works. So,
I was listening. I think Jeremy and Eric said the same thing with like the Monkey King figure for Figure Obscura. Like, they
Yeah.
kind of got that in before there was like a boom of it from other companies.
Yeah, because there was a guy, and I think he was on the Cabal. What the hell, Monkey King? It's stupid. You can go to Big Bad, and there's 4 of them. And I was like, really? Because I wasn't too hip to him, and he was right. There was like 4 different big Monkey King figures on, but none of them are comparable to
Yeah, but
the horse value wise. I mean, when you compare the value to what you're getting, price to articulation, to paint apps, to the displaying, it's second to none. So
yeah, and it's good. And those ones, like, some of those, kind of like how we do complimentary pins, like some of the Figure Obscuras, like there's a Krampus figure I find, or like, even if it's like a little Lego type dude or a Glios, I'll be like, all right, like, I'll put that next to the display. And the Monkey King ones, like, it's all either like Chinese knockoff Barbie type figures with like real hair, or like, here's a chunk of plastic that doesn't move. So yeah, definitely. I mean, the articulation on these guys are awesome.
I love it. All right. What is, drum roll, number 1?
So number 1, not a surprise for the faction. Got to go with my boy Gideon Heaven's Brand.
Yes.
Number 2.
Yes.
Oh, this guy. Right, the first Legion's kind I went to, also they revealed the Necro Wave, and I mean, I felt a little weird because I kept taking photos of this guy in the case. I'm like, just the detail on him is insane. I mean, the gauntlets, his elbows, the back of his elbows have little eagles on them. I'm like, how cool is that? So just what I've seen people be able to do with this guy, from painting the tunic, right? I think his unhelmeted head is Tom Selleck too, which is pretty cool. It's like the Magnum PI of the group.
It's cool how they made him look similar to the first one, but totally revamped him somehow, if that's even possible.
I mean, the comparison is just insane to see how these have grown over the years.
Yeah, the soft goods do help a lot.
Oh yeah,
it makes it a little more realistic, I guess. But no, his version too is definitely awesome because it takes it just up a step, for sure.
Yeah, he, I like to call them like glow ups. Some of the version 2s, just like, here's their ceremonial armor. Like, let's get down to business. Like Artemis too. She looks great. She reminded me of the Winter Soldier. She's got an armored, one armored sleeve. She's got the freaking pauldron of the deer.
Artemis 2 is kick ass. Yeah, Artemis 2 is like really kick ass.
And like, you just see that and you're like, yeah, that's the chick I want to follow into battle. Not that I don't love the fairy butterfly wings, it's cool, but like, some people like the more grunge, gritty,
to me, that's like the version where she's like in the forest hanging out with the animals, and then like, war's about to happen and she like battles up and shit, and she's like running through,
like, putting on the
area, let's go kick some ass.
Putting on the war paint, ready to go.
Darren's running behind her like, meat's back on the menu, boys. Cutting through orcs and freaking vampires and shit. I love it.
Heck yeah.
So that was a great top 5. Definitely a great top 5. Now I know this is an oxymoron, but can you tell us what your 3 least favorite Mythic Legions are and explain why?
Yeah, it's hard because I think all of them have some charm or some toyetic value to them.
They do.
Yeah, right. So that's my caveat. So
it's like Mike doesn't like Ragna, but I'm like, dude, Ragna's cool. I don't know why he's like always shitting on Ragna. And I'm like, a cool little chick.
Yeah, maybe he's got a size issue. Like,
Yeah. Mike's like, I hate short women.
poor Mike.
And, he's
So
watching us going like, damn right, I hate them short women.
yeah, just because I've seen kind of the evolution, this is a hard one. I'm gonna go with Skeleton Legion Builder 1.
Okay, so it's just a basic. He's just a
Basic figure, right? Stock infantry
nothing,
guy, kind of has the same armor as everyone else, right?
nothing too
And when
fancy.
you compare it to like, the new guy that came out, new
Okay,
bones on the block,
yeah,
right? It's not even a contest. You're like,
yeah,
give me the meatless man,
yeah,
instead of the bone in a can.
yeah.
So
No, I
that's
absolutely agree.
yeah. So that I'd go with number 3.
Basic skeleton.
And then number 2, I don't have one with me right now. I'm gonna go with the Sphexians, Cosmic.
Okay,
Um,
okay, all
it,
right.
I'm just not a big roach guy.
Yeah, okay,
Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
I like the space bug trope, right? It's a good
I
trope,
gotta look at them.
right?
They're creepy
Alien,
looking, yeah.
the xenomorphs, you got them, you got Starship Troopers, but these guys are just they just don't do it for me. That it's kind of like the Roach Motel, and they kind of just moved in and they're just hanging out, almost like the worms in MLB in your display. They're like sipping coffee and being like, "Oh, we're gonna hit the mines. You want to come with us?"
Like
Uh,
Joe's apartment or something.
yeah. So, I mean, if you're into the roaches, that's really cool. But like, just not my cup of tea. Uh,
Mm,
Jeremy, it's a good dude right there.
good dude right there. Of course, Jeremy likes bones. Come on.
Yeah,
He's one of the keepers.
he has like a bone jamboree going on at his house. And I might get crap for my number 1.
Number one.
But
Shit.
it is a goblin.
Ooh, Mark,
So so
Get out of here,
I would say Nubnik. And the
Okay.
reason being,
Look at that little bugger down there.
if you look at Nubnik and read his bio, Nubnik is supposed to be and I got his king here, right? Like King Noglin, this dude is great. I love
Oh
this dude,
yeah, yeah,
right?
King on.
King Noglin's a great figure. So Malignancy, don't hate me for that. But like Nubnik, you look at him, he's kind of like a standard soldier loadout, and then his bio is like the most feared assassin of King Noglin's army. And it's like this dude is like the
Basic.
John Doe of goblins. like compared to every other assassin in the line of like the Red Stars, where they're like pimped out in weapons. Nubnik's got one mace and like basic silver armor.
What's funny is Nubnik. I think that's him there. He almost looks like the basic Goblin Legion builder.
Just in silver, right? It's got
Because
like
they're right next to one. I'm looking at them. They're right next to one another. And they literally their armor looks almost identical wise, but it's just like
yeah, and like
I see what you're saying.
the palette swap colors.
Get
I
on me,
mean,
Nubnik.
I get it, but it's not like you can't put a pauldron on like a stormtrooper, right? Homostain trooper. Like this line has gone way above that. So like for them just to paint a basic goblin silver and be like he's the most feared assassin, I'm like come on.
Oh my God,
So
Terrence. What is the only wrong answer? If you pick a goblin, there's only one right answer. Swig.
uh
That
it's
little potion, little bastard.
Swig Swig suffered the Faustia debate with Mike, right? Mike hates Faustia because she took up a couple all-star spots, I think. And
Yeah, he was upset that she was unworthy, and he doesn't like the fact that she looks like Little Red Riding Hood. So that was his take.
yeah,
Now I told Mike you can pop that head off, put the armored head on there, and she looks sick next to Magnus.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's
But
got the female Templar helm, the bucket helm.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I go, she can, and that's how I have her displayed because I don't want Little Red Riding in it. We have enough hooded ladies over there in the uh, uh, what shit. Now I'm having a freaking brain fart. Basilia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that could
there's
be actually, right?
enough of them.
Crossover promotion. The Legion ladies could do a Legion lady hood, exclusive. Um, that wouldn't be bad. Because yeah, there are a lot of hooded ladies.
There's a few. That's all right though.
Uh,
Let's see here. We got the three. Those were good. Those were good threes to throw down the steps. I will accept those. We can catch those ones on fire. If the Horseman would make a tribute figure in your honor using existing parts, what would it look like?
um, it'd probably be a knight for sure.
Okay.
I do like the kind of the white and golds you got going on with Gideon, and then Sir Ukjak, and
Okay.
so maybe kind of that pearlescent white with the gold is always cool. But you got to have pins, right? So maybe you have my backpack. Maybe that shield is like a little just pinboard of like relics
That would be
that
cool.
is like the shield of the realm kind of type thing, with that's like the shield is embedded with all these different relics from across mythos.
What's going to happen is they're going to give you a tribute figure, and it's going to be a goblin that goes around and steals little metal coins from all the other people and puts them in his backpack or something. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yes, and then just the +1 Mario coin every time, like
Somehow swig potion turns you big again, so you're like big goblin.
it's got like the Hulk shorts.
I know Dork Lair would be upset if you were a 1.0 goblin, but it could happen, dude. It could happen.
It could happen. I would not be mad if I was
He's
a
like
1.0
tribute. I'll
goblin.
take it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Speaking of tributes, which tribute figure is your favorite? Broder of Bjorngard or Amir Caspar Scapular the Cryptbreaker 2?
Ooh.
I know it's a hard one.
Yeah, what's the season tally on that, Brad?
I would have to say Mike probably is winning. I did get 3 in a row, so I did get a turkey at one point.
There you go.
Actually, I think I got a couple turkeys, but it does seem like everybody likes Mike's figure. Which Mike's figure is kick ass? I mean,
You know what? This is one of the first ones I got too. I gotta go with Emil.
Look at him.
With Amir Kaspar.
Amir Scapula.
That dude is stealing kisses and riding unicorns. Like, how could you not love that guy? And we just don't know that much about Broder yet. I think the stories are still to be written.
And hopefully we eventually will get to Bjorngar and view some more people. Hey, I mean, if I'm the first Viking, and I'm going to say this every week, if I'm the first Viking, and Jeremy's talking about we're setting sail, I would hope to see, or like to think we would see Vikings on boats that sail, because Vikings are known to do that. I'd like to see that. I really would. That's what I'm looking forward to. I need friends.
I think the first mythic vehicle 2-pack, right? Broder and like a canoe, with like a little sail, a little CJ-ism sail. Like, that would just be awesome.
Let me put Mike up here. When Mike wins, I put his thing up here. Now I can't find it. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. They put Mike up there. The Crypt Breaker. A giant ship. A giant ship would be cool.
Brad, did I know he's got a unicorn steed too, which looks pretty cool.
He
Um,
does.
did you did you see that movie Death of a Unicorn with Paul Rudd?
I have not yet. I've seen the trailer. It looks really good. I definitely want to see this.
Yeah, highly recommend to anybody.
It was rated R, but the trailer kind of didn't seem to make you think it was going to be rated R. So someone said, "No, you got to see it. You got
yeah,
to."
yeah. They do a good job of kind of hiding the reveals of the rated R
Yeah,
vibes to
the
it.
trailer was like, "Oh, that looks freaking great," and then when it said rated R, I'm like, "Really? That looks like a fun, laughy, jokey, fun
Oh,
movie."
fun for the whole family, right?
Yeah,
If your family is Amir Kaspar and he needs a unicorn to ride, but you see that and you're like, I see why he tracked down a unicorn now to ride.
Joe, I like it. I mean, I have a bear. I mean,
But
bear. I'm letting Atlas use it for a little bit for the war. It's all right. I've been holding him back, feeding him every day, feeding over there, throwing limbs of vampires and whatnot to the bear. Just here's some orc meat.
uh, gosh,
So, sir, would you be so kind to take us on a tour of your Legions collection, aka your Legions lair?
so this one I got a punt. So I have what I affectionately call my Dave cave in the basement, but
Love it.
we did have some water leakage going on, so I had to rebox a lot of figures and replace some shelves, which are still ongoing. So
That's
uh,
cool.
yeah, we're gonna talk with Mike. I'll give you guys the exclusive when it's back up.
No, Broder is chilling with. Oh my god, I haven't even read this. I'll just put it up.
Oh, jeez.
We know Broder is chilling with Neve on a ship that's sailing the seas of Mythos. The sea sailing gets lonely, so we know who's keeping David warm at night. That said, Casper is not the winner. Rob.
Rob just got a Legion's Lair shirt in the mail.
Uh, Rob, we don't have any Legions. But you can buy them on Retro Regs right now, exclusively. Sir, I know Mike is gonna. I want to do this, but I know Mike is gonna want to do this because you picked him. We have to knight you because we didn't knight you earlier for your awesome questions. So, sir, shing, you will be knighted in the lair for picking my friend Michael and being an awesome guest and kicking ass with crown. And amazing
Oh,
picks, amazing throwing down the stair picks.
I mean
And
that
Rob,
just made my year right there. That's
it,
put
it's
that
always
on the top.
it's funny because before we got the sword, I'd have to go back and see when we brought the sword out. I feel like we were like halfway through the year when we brought the sword out. And then there's people that were on, they're like, hey, I never got knighted. And I'm like, sorry. Sucks to be you, you little bastard. All
Doing
right.
mea
Anyone
culpas.
that didn't get knighted and all the people watching, this is for you. You get knighted in the lair. If you're lucky, maybe I'll bring this sword to Legion's Con one year and just walk around knighting people.
There you go.
You're on the second sword too. Actually, I'm on the third sword. First sword, I think, was huge. It was like this. I mean, it was like this huge sword, and something happened to it. I don't know what that. My son probably destroyed it. He's probably like, this is dead. And just yeah. So, but the second sword, I still have. That was a Spirit Halloween. But when I saw this is that. That's the Arnold sword. So we had to get that for sure, for sure, for sure. Well, sir, we see a lot of cool figures in front of you that you have showed us tonight, and they're all hitters there. I mean, it's amazing. So we kind of got to see your lair while we were doing the show as well. Kind of. I mean, it's basically it. A few. Actually, Anthony did that last time he was on. He just had his little figures up front, and
I tried to cherry pick some of the better ones that I really enjoy, and usually just people get excited seeing they're a little older, they're a little rarer, but those are the cool ones that you usually get the draw from people when they see them in my collection too.
I haven't done a Friday night faction fight in a while. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I've just been busy. I need to get back on that. But it's funny, somebody said that to me. They go, "Why you pick all the older figures?" And I'm like, that's what I'm connected to. I felt like I would pick the older figures to fight one another, and eventually I would branch off to newer figures. But I figure, like, why do we want to talk about the newer figures now? I mean, we still have all these old figures to talk about, and I like to keep the old figures relevant a little bit. And I was putting the bios in the comments. Just a lot of people were like, I'd never even seen that figure before, I seen him but didn't really read it, didn't really think about who he would beat or what he could beat. So I'm gonna have to bring that back again. I'm sorry, I'm slacking, people, slacking. So sorry.
I always loved the wild card too. You would propose, like, what if it's like Rhaegar versus Juno the Crusher, but in a monsoon, right? Like
Oh, I see what you're saying. Throw some crazy scenarios out there that could.
Yeah, like or in the Coliseum, like where's the Mortal Kombat map
Yeah.
that they're taking place in?
I always said in the bot or in the post, I would say, whatever the two, people find themselves alone on the battlefield or something, and then I would try to, let them figure out what would happen. But it's funny because there are some people that I didn't want to pick specifically because like they sound so dominant. Like you read their bio and it's like spits flame or spits death and or what's the one guy where it's like he touches them and the people die or resurrect. I'm like, dude, who could beat that? Like he should be a freaking badass. Like, so there's some of the people's bios. I'm like, I can't pick him. He would just dominate that. And I tried to pick faction versus faction. So if I would try to do Zylona's flock with vampires, or barbarians with Rising Sun, or Rising Sons of the Red Star. I said Rising Sun. I'm over here like I'm playing guitar. But there's only a few times I didn't. Like I think I picked Purple versus Kauros. Like a He-Man. Who would win between these two cats? It's funny though because the Cabal is dark. I'm always the heroes must always win, and then when you do these faction fights, it's funny. It's like everyone's always like, yeah, demons, vampires will kill. So it does get you thinking. I'm like, wow, I always thought everyone would be like me. I grew up in the 80s watching 80s movies, so the good guy always wins in the end. So it's like implanted in my head like that. So sorry.
Well, maybe do like it would be funny if you did like two birds against each other, right? Like
I thought about that because I'm like, what? If I keep doing this, eventually I get to a point where like I have to, eliminate some people. I mean, obviously, if you kept doing it, I would eventually have like a bracket. That's what I was trying to do. Eventually, get to a point where like, all right, well, this person fought this person. So eventually, maybe after a while, I'll bring like I brought Asterion. My first one was Asterion versus shit. I'd have to go look at it, but Asterion kicked his ass. Whoever it was, Asterion was like nobody picked the other person. Everybody's like Asterion. It's like it's him. And it was really good. But then there's some people. There were a few lopsided ones that I was shocked, but I think it makes it fun, because you think everyone's the same and they're not. Everybody likes their own little stuff and weird things.
Well, yeah, you're basically putting it as like a D&D role question, right? Like,
basically, like what scenario would happen, and that sometimes the bios go into play because it's like you have to read their bios to kind of know. I mean, you can choose whatever you want to choose, but I would hope that people would read the bios and not be biased and say, well, this is how they would win. But obviously, if there's somebody you love, you're not even going to read the bios, and you're just going to be like, that dude's kicking that dude's ass. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right, I got a Drayleon here. Like, if that's versus like a Pelicus, right? Like dragging over Pelican. But then you get a Pelican,
Ooh,
enthusiast who's like, their
yeah,
mouth can pretty much hold anything.
yeah.
Right? That's
I
what I
could see
love to
somebody
see.
being like, "Oh no, dude, that pelican would straight bitch smack him with those web feet." Like, yeah,
Right? Like it's got the New Orleans voodoo with it. It's got dropping some king cake
got
babies.
poisonous stuff in his gizzards that he regurgitates up and spits out.
A Hellfire Pelican. That's what I want the next one.
I'm hoping that the with the Etheron version 2 would bring that bird body back to life
Ooh, yeah. New
for all the
sculpt.
3D printers. So if the horsemen don't want to redo any of those other bird heads, the 3D printing community can. You know what I mean? But we just want the bigger buck body, the new updated body, so that we can recreate all the other birds. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it. They don't necessarily have to give me all those birds. And I get what they're saying. Hey, we had those birds at one time and nobody wanted them. And that's insane to me because it's like, whatever an all in was like 200, like you got 13 birds for like $260 or something, 265 or something. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Ridiculous. Yeah. And then
Like
right,
one of
it's
those birds goes for like $300 and you could have had all 13 of them for
where's
less than
the
$300. And nobody wanted them on Big Bad Toy Store.
this was this is PowerCon 2022. I got I got the Phoenicus right from
I like to drop the
Metropolis.
chocolate. Yeah.
And I remember going back in the Four Horsemen line, and Corn Boy was like, "Hey, how much you paid for that?" Like, and I was like, "Oh, it is, it's 200." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "We couldn't give it away at $20, 2 years
You,
ago."
seriously. They had
And
a hard time.
yeah, and it's crazy. I think they found their market, for it, and those are just super, rare. But you kind of got to be into that, bird as well, though. Like the phoenix, the dragons. I like the mythical ones that are really cool. Um,
Well, you are welcome, sir. I had a huge claim sale on the Cabal. And it was funny because there was only one person that was like, I don't feel comfortable playing friends and family. And I'm like, yeah, obviously you haven't watched the show. There was a lot of people like that. Like, you have a show? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't really promote it well or whatnot. But I'm like, hey, we're on season 4.
yeah, are you a celebrity?
I'm like, I'm nobody in the community, but like, I just felt like, hey, I've been on the Cabal since 21, and everybody seems to know me. And you could go back and look at me, And dude, so many people came to bat for me reference wise. So thank everyone. And then I ended up being cool with that person, and I was cool anyway. But I just wanted him to know that like I wasn't gonna rip anybody off. And boy, I was up until like 4 or 5 in the morning after my claim sale because I kept I was using pirate ship, so I'm like boxing stuff up, weighing. I literally probably felt like Chris Garwich and Matt Rodriguez from Defenders of Eden I got my tape measure out, I'm weighing everything, I'm on pirate ship, putting everybody's address in, doing all this. It was like, I was like, I can't believe it took me all this time to box all this shit up. And like, it was insane. It was crazy. But thank you to everyone that purchased because of you, I didn't have to dip in and put it on my credit card, and I was able to purchase a Bayether. So
It's
thank you, thank you. I was gonna get one anyway, but I thought, you know what? I bet you I could sell a lot of shit I have laying around, and it would pay for that. And I sold the stuff so cheap that I felt like I don't want to put it on there and just let it sit. I'll act like people are. I almost sold them at show prices and just added shipping.
yeah. Oh,
So
that's
like I
nice.
was selling figures for $50, but it's like, hey, it was almost like you went to a show and got it for 40, and then you paid $50 and had it sent to you. So that's how I looked at it for a lot of stuff. So everything sold quick, and that's how I looked at it. I was like, you know what, I want these people to get something. You got a good price. Extras for less than return. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh, the Pacers are winning now. Why'd you have to ruin everything, Lord? I kind of want it to be over. I'm like at a point where I'm like, I just like we just don't look good. We won all these games all season long, and then we just got hurt, and we just didn't look good. So
And I feel like they're gonna pull it off, and then like we're just gonna limp along in the news cycle, and they're like, "Did they kill the Cavaliers yet? They're wounded. See if they can finish them off."
you know what? I skipped something here. I forgot to ask you this. You are a fellow Buckeye. Do
Yes,
you have a
yes.
do you have a passion for Northeast Ohio sports teams?
I am a diehard baseball fan, diehard, and anything Cleveland in the name actually. But we go to probably anywhere from like 12 to 15 ball games a year.
That's pretty good.
It,
That's
you
pretty
know,
good.
we used to be season ticket holders for a quarter season, but then they'd give you like Friday and Sunday games. And I love baseball, but sometimes it's too much baseball in one
Yeah,
weekend. Like I could
I get
always turn it on the radio, but when you're forced to go, it's not the same as like, yeah, let's go down, and have fun. And but always loved them since I was a kid. And shout out to the tribe for Mike. I got we named our dog Chief for the Indians. And now that they're the Guardians, we love them still the same. And it's a shame. Like the Cavs are great as well. You know, and
Yeah.
Cleveland, Cleveland's a football town, though. Unfortunately, like you know, it, Browns, like if they ever go to the Super Bowl, the city will burn. Like they'll need to call in the National Guard, win or lose. But I feel like the Guardians and the Cavs, like people are just so happy when they win.
Lauren
The
said the
Browns,
Guardians.
there you go. Thank you, Lauren. That's much better news than the Cavs.
Okay, look, thank you. Some Cleveland teams are winning.
But yeah, Buckeyes too followed them, and even the Blue Jackets down in Columbus, we followed them as well.
Um,
Nice.
let's see. I bought from you the Gold Trim Templar and the Knicker. That was that was Mark, right? I think Mark, weren't you just on shooting the shelf? I think it's the same Mark, right? Lonky? Lonky? Is that right? We'll see what he says. I think that's who I sold that to. Pretty sure. I only had it. Well, I did have a few 2-packs, but I think that was the one that I sold to. That's so funny. Let me go back here. What was the other question? That Mike had.
Yeah,
Will the
Cavs are
Cavs
not.
win the NBA title?
Oh,
Now, I should have probably asked this before Lauren put up the score, so that may be not good.
if that was in the third, I still feel confident. If that's in the fourth, it's going to be a long off season for the Cavs.
Yeah. You know what, though? If I remember correctly, the Boston Celtics have been a pretty dominant team for quite. Fourth just started, she said. They've been a pretty dominant team for a few years now with Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And I would say every year they would go really far, they'd lose. I think they even went to the championship and lost. And then eventually last year they won. So I'm hoping that this Cavs team, if we can hold on to them, will be like one of those where we just hold on to the players and possibly pull one out without LeBron. Would be huge, huge. Because the one with LeBron is big. I mean, we'll take
Oh,
it.
I mean that's all time, right? Like you
Yeah. I
can't
mean,
beat that.
and being down 3-1 and coming back like we did was something else. I mean, you've seen what Golden State. I hope is watching. You see what Golden State had to do. Had to go out and get Kevin Durant. Yeah, for
Yeah,
2 years just to beat the Cavs. You guys suck.
yeah. Where was the collusion there, right? Like Chris Paul couldn't go to the Lakers the year before, but yeah, sure, just send Kevin Durant to to a team that made the finals. That makes sense.
I told somebody this. I'm like, you eliminate the Golden State Warriors and the Cavs win 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. LeBron stays here. We're probably winning 2020, 2021. Seriously. I think LeBron messed up by leaving, but the first time, because I always said that I felt like if he would have stayed, we would have got a couple. Eventually, we would have got those wins. But it's North. Yes. So it is Mark. Yeah, that was a great episode on Shooting the Shelf on Sunday. I was watching it. That was really good. And I thought that too. I was like, hey, I almost said that in the chat. But I was gonna say, hey, didn't I sell you some stuff? I swear to God, I almost did.
You're doing it after it ended.
I'm always weird. I always listen, but I'm real bad at commenting. Like I'm one of those people that I'm listening to most of these shows sometimes, but I may not comment. I'm just listening, watching TV, watching something else, listening to it. I'm in the car. Me and Lauren been in the car driving around listening to it. So we're insane. But we did that during COVID too. I mean, there was nothing to do during COVID. So we're like, let's watch these auctions. Hey, look, they're selling shit. Let's watch it.
As you're going sling blade with the gummy bears in your lip, yelling out the window.
Like, you guys want some car parts? You want some radiators? Yeah, that's the other word, radiators. People love their radiators and their what was the other one? What's the carburetors? Yeah, carburetors. Not a carburetor, but a carburetor.
You probably make someone at Disney's head explode if you go to like Cars Land and you're like, yeah, this is the radiator springs.
Oh yeah, distributor. That's the fucking best. Distributor. Joe got a distributor. Dude, I had to put somebody on hold. I'm like distributor, man. And at first you're like, what? What? Like, holy shit. Distributor.
Oh.
Yeah. I sometimes I don't miss that job, but yeah. Get the customers, good old customer service. Well, let's see. You know what? We didn't ask the chat to ask you any questions. I guess we could do it real quick. If there's any questions you want to ask David before we leave, please. Oh, that's Lauren. That's a good one. And I'm going to ask that right now. What is your favorite pin from Mythic Legions?
Yeah, that's actually an easy one for me. So it's probably the Helios and Selene pins. These were the orange blue ones were the last two I needed of the faction pins. And so they were kind of my grails for a while. And this pretty cool, thanks to the Cabal in the studio, I was able to track them down. And that's when they found all the extras. And started having pin sales again. So it was kind of cool to be a part of that.
So what you're saying is you may have been the reason why they were looking for this stuff to begin with and found it.
It's very possible.
It's very possible that you sparked the wheel. That's Oh my God, how amazing is the Amir? Yes, Mike, you won. I put him up.
Wait, hold on. Just for Mike, we can do the kissy face.
Oh my God! Hold on.
There you go, Mike.
Yeah, smack that ass. Yeah, you like it, don't you?
That is the worst audio you can put.
That was my. Do you remember? Remember Conan used to do a skit where he would cut out people's mouths.
Oh yes.
Other people's mouths, and all you would do is,
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do to Mike now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You got to find the filter for that too and do it.
I love that one filter where they do it over the cows, and it's like moo, moo, bitch, moo. Mom, moo, meow. Yeah, those are great. Fucking great. Well, since that was an easy question, let's see here. What, and I think you already kind of answered this, but what was your go-to action figure line as a kid?
As a
Like
kid,
it's time to play as a kid. What are you going to?
yeah, probably Power Rangers. That's
Okay.
when right, like putting the Megazord together as a kid. Right, and I was born in '88, so like
Okay. So
kind of I
yeah.
was firmly a '90s kid, so I missed out a lot on like Motu and GI Joe, but like Power Rangers was in your face every week.
Yeah.
Um, y- my grandpa taped them on VHS for me while I was at school. So like just going home, popping in the tape, and then being able to like fight the space aliens and then put together the Megazord and then the Dragon Zord was probably the best Christmas gift I've ever gotten in my
That,
life. I still say that. So,
that
yeah,
was gonna be my next question. What was your best Christmas gift? It was the Megazord.
yeah, yeah. The best was that's how I found out Santa wasn't real. Was my mom had gotten the Dragon Zord from Toys R Us and put it in the back of the car and picked me up from school. And I was like, "Oh, what's in the Toys R Us bag?" And she's like, "Oh, they like straight mom lie. It was beautiful." Said, "Oh, they ran out of stuff at um what was it back then? Rini Rigo's, right? They ran out of bags at Rini Rigo's, so they put
Moms.
it in a Toys R Us bag, and I bought it hook, line, and sinker. And then I get Christmas morning. She didn't even take it out of the Rini Rigo bag. She just wrapped it in that, and that's how I knew Santa wasn't real because my mom had got me the Dragon Zord. Ah,
Mark says, David, I believe I met and talked with you online at the High
oh,
Valley show 2 weeks ago.
yes, yeah, you did. We were the first in line at the Lehigh Valley show.
Nice.
I had to go into Philadelphia for a work trip, and so I went out a couple days early so I could hit that show. I got to meet some members of the cabal there as well, and see some favorites like Benny Torres, um,
Benny.
and Len and Cookie, and yeah, it was awesome. Jesse was there too. It was a good show.
Jesse
Found a,
Arnold.
found a little bit of everything.
I have not met Mark yet, but I did sell him some stuff. But I think Mark, in our conversations, I think he said he was going to Legion's Con this year. I think he did say that. So hopefully I'll see him this year at Legion's Con. I did get to see him obviously on Sunday. But yeah, that's cool. You got to meet him. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Right, just like everyone in this community, it's been
Yeah,
you
he's the
know
Marine.
this was
Like
cool.
it.
Any show, it's like almost like a mini family reunion. You see someone and can relate to a figure or inside joke or something on the cabal.
Yeah. And that's once again, that's what this show's about. Somebody in here may not know you, and now they know you.
Yeah,
And may have
yeah,
not have ever even met you, and they'll see at Legion's Con, they'll say, "Hey, I was watching the Legion's Lair, and I seen you on there. And you're the pin dude," or something.
yeah.
And that's cool. That's what we thrive for here at the Legion's Lair.
Well,
We thrive.
I appreciate the free publicity, Brad.
I mean, obviously, no. I mean, you. I mean, obviously, if you go to Legion's Con, you're going to see David walking around. Definitely,
I'm a pretty
definitely.
tall dude, and then just
Pretty
the
tall,
backpack will give me away
pretty
with
tall
all the pins.
backpack pins. Yeah, yeah, and it keeps growing. It keeps growing.
Does.
Eventually, they're going to be the whole backpack. It's going to be like those little gemstones. But
Yeah.
it's just going to be pins.
I'm gonna have it'll be like the Browns quarterback jersey. I'm gonna have to extend it past the book bag. So of all the all the pins are gonna go extra.
Did Dave see the Ohio shirt Cullen did?
Oh, I did not.
Actually, I think I have it on my banners here. Let me go. Because sometimes I use it as my background. Here,
Nice.
let's see here. See if I can make. Oh. There we go. Oh.
Yes.
Isn't that
That's
dope?
awesome.
It's
Oh,
on
I love that.
T Public. T Public.
Yeah, wherever Colin sells his shirts.
I think it's T Public.
Yeah.
I almost said Public T, but I don't think it's T Public.
I definitely gotta get one of those.
I thought that was cool. I was like, I gotta get that. I took it to Muskegon, then I'm like, I better not wear this. Because I was in Michigan. I was like, they don't like us here. I swear that's why obviously Michigan and Ohio people get along, but I always wonder if like I just felt like when I go to Michigan, like I feel like as I get way up in there and you're getting closer to Muskegon, I feel like I noticed like I'm doing 80, 85 on the highway, which is pretty fast. And people are coming up on my bumper, like tailgating me. And then they're like speeding by me and flying by. And I'm like, damn, these people are crazy up here. Like I'm doing 85. The dude just blew by me. I had to be doing like 90, 95 mile an hour. And I'm like, is it because I have an Ohio plate with the Cleveland Browns freaking license plate holder? Like, fuck this Ohio Browns. You would think they'd feel sorry for me. Like, oh, yeah, us Lions fans know how you feel. Those years of sucking.
Oh, that was my favorite piece of news related media during football season was that the murder rate in Detroit was the lowest it's been since like the 70s, the last time the Lions were in the playoffs.
Eric is right. And that's the thing. It's like, I think I just put that on there because I just wanted a license plate holder. And I was like, oh, I actually grabbed that one because I had whatever license plate holder I had. I think it was an Indians one. And I had it on there because I was like, I don't want to get rid of the Indians because now they're the Guardians. And I'm like, I'm keeping this Indian, but the sun faded it. So it's like, it's completely faded. It's just white. There's like no color to it. And I thought, well, I'll get this Browns one. Maybe it'll last longer. And it did, but maybe that's hurting me because, like I said, they're like, but yeah, Browns suck. At least the Lions are good now. Maybe.
Hopefully they get over the hump. I'd love to see them. You know, I was rooting for the small market.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Lions, but I just want to see somebody different. I'm tired of seeing the same bullshit. So I'm just glad Kansas City didn't win. It was Mark watching. Birds fly, birds fly.
That's my advice to anyone who goes into Philly and feels unsafe. Just say, "Go Birds."
Go Birds.
You'll be fine, right? It's like the cult code word to be like, we're
Tell me
good.
what people do when they come to Ohio and feel unsafe. They're like, OH. And everybody's like, oh. They're like, Jesus Christ, these people are weird.
1000% they do that.
Definitely. There was a time where that was popular. I don't know, early 2000s or something, but like I was at different states and would hear that, chant, and I'm thinking, God, Ohio's really making us look bad right now. Because it's always some drunken idiot dude,
Oh, yeah. It's like, I can spell our state.
It's like when I first took my son to a Browns game. And I said, son, we're probably going to lose today. And I said, but the best thing about losing today is when we walk back to the car, you're going to hear so many drunk people going, there we go, Brownies. There we go. Ooh, ooh, yeah. And it's funny because we would lose the game like 27-3, and everyone's cheering, all going back to the car. There we go, Brownies.
It's like the
Well, we won that day. We actually won.
nice.
And then it was like exciting to go back to the car because like, here we go. They weren't like too negative about the chants. They were a little more into it. But my son looked at me like, dude, Dad, they're doing exactly what you said they would. And I'm like, yes, this is what they do. That's what they
Yeah.
do. So.
This is what they teach in Ohio schools.
Yeah. I had to forewarn him. I couldn't have him going to the game and spending $20 on a burger and $10 on a pop and then losing the game. I had to forewarn him that it could lose like we normally do. So good times. Well, David, is there any other questions? Does anybody else want to ask any other questions before we go? Oh, I know Lauren wants to ask this. Do you have any pets?
Ooh, yes.
And if you do, what are their names?
Yeah, so we have a 5-year-old Australian cattle dog mix, and his name is Chief, after the Indians. So he's a COVID rescue. We actually got him from the Browns Puppy Pound. So
Wow.
best thing the Browns ever gave us. But he is 80 pounds of pure awesome. We love him to death, and we're his emotional support humans because we most of the time we work from home, so he's pretty Velcro on us.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah, he's I'll send Lauren pictures. He's an awesome dog.
Yes, I'm like I want to see that. Yes, ours was a COVID dog too. I guess we could say that. It just happened to work out. Well, sir, is there anything that you're looking forward to reveal-wise for this Legions Con coming up? Is there anything that you want to speculate or hope or?
Yeah, I know, right? They said Etheron 2.0 and Xylona 2.0 are coming, but does that mean those are the two big wave reveals? Or
no, I think that should be through the year. I would think. I don't think that will be a G-Con reveal. It sounded like they were going to do those sometime in the summer. I would think.
That would be awesome because the other ones
pre-order for those or whatever. Yeah, probably come out with that.
Because they have sketches for them too. If you look on the blog of Helios and Selene, the originator myths, and some people are like, "Oh, I want them huge. I want them, giant scale, instead of half giant." But I think it would be kind of cool, like brute scale to like, but like just soft goods out the wazoo. I could see on Selene, and I think that would be pretty cool because those two have been teased for a while. We got pins of them. It's the leaders of light and dark. So that would be my hope. I would lose my mind for those two.
They're even putting the one faction logo on the side of the Armory Experience boxes, right?
Yeah, that's.
Or actually, Valiant Knight had the
Selene's
logo, I think, on the side of it. And then all the empty boxes they gave us for the Armory had that logo on there. So
I know. I love when people are like, "Is this a new faction?" And then I'm like over here trying not to like word vomit. Like, no, that.
Like, I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's like it's not new, but we just haven't gone down that. But we will.
Yeah, so I'm hoping those are the big ones, because otherwise I'm not sure unless it's another pillar or because they've pretty much gone through all the other factions, putting out the Dark Four and then the Light Beasts.
Kevin says, if you believe it, it's been a year this month since Ashes of Agbendor have been announced. I think you are right about that. So I bet we get Legacies announced this month or next. That is a good predicament there, and I could see that happening. I really could.
Good call.
Yeah, I do think that. So hopefully we'll get more than just the two they showed us. I think the two I'm hoping are just teasers, and they throw like a half dozen cool V2 figures in there for us or something.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I think they said something about smaller waves, so maybe we will no longer see like big 12 figure waves or 11 figure waves. Maybe something a little smaller. But well, David, 2.5 hours. I think that is a show, my good friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, Brad. And Mike.
Well, yes, and I mean, Obviously, we would like to have you on sooner, but we're bi-weekly. But we're so glad to finally get you on, Ohio buddy, Ohio fam. And we're looking forward to hopefully seeing you here at hopefully Legion's Con, maybe sooner. I'll see you probably on Tuesday at the Mythic Meet or at the Neotech meetup if you're going to be there.
Yeah, I should be there.
So I'll see you Tuesday. Everyone else, we're out. That's another episode. Before I go, I guess I will tell you 2 weeks from now on May 27th at 7 o'clock, season 4, episode 11, our guest will be none other than Nate Armstrong.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Armstrong. Nate is a good friend, works for Wolf King. So yeah, we're looking forward to bringing him on, seeing his crazy mind. He's got some cool customs. So we're
Did you see the Muppet ones he's been doing?
Dude,
The Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Crushed
Dude, why do I want the Oscar the Grouch? Like, I want that. I want he flocked it and it looks cool. You know, like it looks cool. I like it.
It's so good.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it when he's on. So
Nice.
I'm sure he'll want to show. Maybe he has something new to show us. Who knows? So until next time, people. Peace, cabal above all, and thank you. See you till next time.